everybody, welcome into Rock Painting 101. I'm just finishing up cutting out my outline here, so I thought I would show you just my technique to get my silhouette in the first place here. I'm using an X-Acto knife because you can really get into the little nooks and crannies, and I think to do these state rocks, you have to have those little nooks and crannies available to see. So we're going to create one of these rocks, depending on which your home state is, or maybe the state that holds your heart would be the state that you'd want to do. I think making a huge batch of these for the state you live in would probably be a pretty fun and successful thing to do, depending on how tricky your state is to cut out to hide around town. I'm doing Florida this afternoon because I lived in Florida for a little while. If you guys follow the page, my husband's in the military, so I did call Florida home for a little while. So just take your X-Acto knife, always cut on a surface, a cardboard back of some sort, so you don't ruin your workshop table. And so I'm kind of going to go over the supplies we need while people are coming in. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Donna. I'm just going to use my pens. I've got my extra fine just for touching up red and black, and then just a regular fine tip, the 3M, for doing the outline, because I want something a little bit thicker, and you'll see why in a moment. I've also got painter's tape. This works really, really good and for not peeling up your base coat of paint. So on this one I did gold on the background. I've already base coated my rock. I didn't want you to have to sit and watch my paint literally dry. So I've got my base coated rock here. I decided to go blue from Florida, and I just saw somebody say Florida here, so this one should be close to home for you. So once you have your silhouette cut out, now you can find these if you just do a simple Google search for state silhouettes. Usually you can find an image on Google. Once we get this post live on our website, we'll make sure to link up to where you can find them, but that might be a little bit, and you might want to do this right away. So all I'm doing is rolling my tape. You get it as skinny as you can, because especially for, some states are going to be trickier than others. Like Florida, we've got the panhandle here, so you want to make sure that you got your state secured on your rock. So just put a couple pieces on the back side, and once you have it in a roll, you can kind of trim it into these tiny little dots if necessary, so that you can get all these little nooks and crannies. You want to get it secured in as many places as possible, and you'll see why in a minute. And I don't even know if I might be out of screen here, but I'll show you once I get this last piece on. So we've got these tiny little rolls on the back side of our state, and then we are going to flip it over and just find how you want it placed on your rock. And this is kind of a little funky, the way the rock is shaped. It's kind of opposite of how the state is. So I'm gonna have my heart near the bottom because I lived in Hollywood, Florida. I like to place the heart near the city you're at, and just press it down into your place. Now, if you don't have paint pens, you can do this. I highly suggest a small square-edged brush. I might have one over here. So that maybe even smaller tip than this, so that you want to be able to go a little bit. You can try to trace along the edge with a very small liner brush. It's just a little bit easier to do with the pens for something like this. And I did link above, as always, to supplies if you don't have pens and want them. Okay. So just make sure you have it pressed down, and we're just going to start on one section. And I like to trace just along the edge, slightly almost on top of the paper, and just go nice and slow and nice straight lines if you can. Obviously you have to get the curves, but the indents will kind of come if you go along the edges. You want to just try your best to have straight down pressure so that you don't end up with things under, the paint doesn't seep under. That's another reason why these pens work great for this, because it won't be oversaturated. We're gonna kind of just get our basic outline. We can touch up with our fine tip once we remove the state. Here we go. Just like that. And I'm just gonna give it a little second to dry. Let's see here. I've got a couple people saying the video is choppy for them, but no, Deb saying it's good. Okay, so hopefully it's good. I was uploading a video last time when I had the bad connection. I learned my lesson the hard way on that. So hopefully the connection here is good. I'm just gonna use my X-Acto knife just to get underneath here so I don't accidentally smudge my paint, just to get the edge, and then slowly peel your state back off. If your ink is totally dry, it's easier to get this stuff off. I just don't want to smudge it because I can still see a couple little damp spots. Being stubborn, there it goes. So there's our little Florida, and like I said, see you've got a little spot here that you didn't quite get. I'd rather have less paint than too much paint because you can always come back in with your fine tip. And let me grab my state here, make sure it's got a little hitch up. You can kind of compare to your piece to make sure you put the line in the correct way. Hit a little uptick there. So then we've got the state on there. Now we're gonna place our heart. Now, like I said, for the heart, I like to place it close to the city, like in the area of the state that you lived in. When I lived in Nebraska, I was in the Omaha area. So I lived in Hollywood, which is kind of down here in between Fort Lauderdale and Miami. For those of you that aren't Florida natives, it's not always in California. So I'm gonna just doodle over here off the side, make sure my red's flowing. So just come right in and add your heart. Make sure your black is dry before you do this. And Hollywood was right on the coast. Put that right on there, like that. And if you don't live in the States, I know there's some people that don't live in the United States. You could obviously do this for any territory or country, or you could even make one for the United States, which would be really cool, especially coming into Independence Day. You could do it in the United States and put a heart where you're at, or even where a couple people live. I've seen those shirts that, and mugs, like, you know, you could make one for your mom. Like if you live in Florida and she lives in, you know, Nebraska, you could put them both on the same one with the curlicue, you know. I've seen things like that. Okay, so it seems like I think most people are getting good connection, so I'm going to keep on going here. So once your heart is finished, I'm just going to come right back with my extra fine and give it a little bit of an outline, just to define the edge of it just a little bit there, like so. And then I didn't base coat the entire rock, I just did the surface. And that's the same thing I did here with the gold. So all I did was go around the edge with the dark, just to kind of give it a border. I mean, that's something you can do if you want. You don't have to. You can base coat your entire rock. You could do this straight on your rock without a base coat. So I love this. We're seeing people from so many different states. They're flying by so fast. I'm so excited when these go coast to coast like this and all over the world. I've got people that message me from lots of different countries too. So I'm gonna quickly just give this a fast border. I feel like it kind of gives that blue an edge. Like I said, this is a step you don't necessarily have to do. If you've got great writing skills, which is something I'm still honing, you could write the state's name on it, or write, you know, simply home, or home is where the heart is. You know, there's so many different phrases and taglines that you can add on these. And I can't wait, sorry, I'm off screen there. I can't wait to see all the different home ones in the feed. And if you add a cute phrase on it, maybe we sometimes share readers rocks on our page when we actually upload these videos to create posts on our website. So if we've got some fun quotes or sayings, those would be kind of fun to add on there too. So there we go. That kind of just gives it a finished look too, to give it that little bit of a border, and I might go a little further down, but I won't make you watch me outline. So there we go. So I've got two. I've got a few more to go. I've traveled quite a bit with my lifestyle. But I've got my silhouettes here on the side. See if I can prop that up so you guys can see it there. So I hope you all give this one a try. They turn out really cute and they're very unique, and I think everybody can find, you know, a way to make it their own. So thanks for everybody that joined in live. I did get another message. If you're watching this on replay and you're trying to catch the lives, just hit the 3 dots in the upper right hand corner and you can turn on your live feed notifications. And then you'll be alerted when I'm going live. In the summer, it's more sporadic, and I apologize for that. I try to stick to a schedule, and I can't seem to nail one down. So I appreciate everybody joining in. We'll see you all soon. Bye.